Welcome to my European philosophy channel, and in this video I would like to talk to you about a very crazy subject, which is the psychological corruption and how psychology can be corrupted to, let's say, manipulate people in ways that they were not possible time ago. It's a snowy day here in the north of Madrid, Spain. And I would like to point out that I am not a psychologist. I'm just a yogi who is interested in the research of consciousness and energy blockages removal, or psychological shadow integration if you want. And I hope you enjoy my video.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm familiar with psychology and psychotherapy because I had to work with my emotions. I suffered from PTSD and I had to go through therapy. And therapy was not the only thing which healed me. I also used Christian confession. I used psychedelics. I used shamanism. I used Buddhism. I use spirituality, and for me, what is the real healer is God, is your own spirituality and your own desire to transcend your own ego. And well, apart from that, my first clue to realize that psychology was corrupted was around the year 2002, 2003, when I realized that the testimony by this a girl called Naira was phony. It was stated that she was lying, and that declaration she made, telling the world that the Iraqis were putting babies out of the incubators to let them die on the cold floor, was a complete fabrication created by an agency for propagandistic reasons. That led to the first Gulf War, and it wasn't until 2015 and when Wikipedia acknowledged that it was a false testimony. That was water under the bridge. That's all news. Most people were already interested in something else, as they were meant to be. And around that time period, it was inconceivable to believe that the September the 11th attacks could have been orchestrated by the American intelligence services and other foreign agencies, like, for instance, Mossad. That was inconceivable.
To think that they had not only a plane, but they had bombs that exploded almost simultaneously, because I just can't imagine anything being able to go through that wall. Most buildings are built with a steel.
Years later, in 2008, 2009, I realized that that could be a possibility. And when I researched the physics involved in the collapse of those towers, I realized that it was impossible for those towers to collapse the way they did without the usage of explosives. I remember people like Jim Fetzer debating this fucking asshole Bill O'Reilly, and it was impossible. It was impossible to reach the American people because of the Jones plantation.
Lie. Then what?
One lie leads to another, and 1,000 more lies. Keep giving them an ounce of hope and a pound of fear, and they'll continue to believe every lie until they're dead in the ground, here, on your plantation. Most people are weak-minded. Nothings. To wield real power, you must be willing to do what most consider unthinkable.
Well, Mr. Smith, what most people consider to be unthinkable is that men like you
it was very difficult for me to cope with deception, and it still is. I decided to turn to professional psychological help. I went to a site called BetterHelp, which has like 1,200 psychologists. They boast about it in their advertising. And I decided to seek that kind of help because for me it's very difficult to cope with the idea of my relatives who are all vaxxed up and boosted, dying because of deception, because of myocarditis, and because of the response from the government and the World Health Organization stating that nobody was forced to take the vaccine. To me, it was a clear example of psychological manipulation and corruption in the scientific community. And I told them that I don't believe every single conspiracy theory. I debate those theories with my knowledge in physics and in astronomy. I'm not an expert, but I think I can have my reasonable doubts. And they were not able to find a single one psychologist who would claim that psychology is corrupted. I mean, how can they claim that? How is something which is corrupted meant to heal you? And to me, that was the breaking point in which I knew that even psychologists can be corrupted, and psychology is meant to ease your pain with drugs or with bullshit, but some kinds of suffering are pretty much legitimate because it's not okay to exterminate people. It's not okay to pull out people's eyes and then reproach them of their blindness. In the end, I complained about them in Trustpilot for various reasons. And if you're going to seek professional psychological help, careful there, okay? Well, I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm not saying that all psychologists are corrupted. And I'm pretty much certain that there are professionals of the mental health out there who have some good feelings and they understand the importance of love and truth. But that wasn't my experience, and I believe I have the right to share that with other people until they shut down all possible ways to express yourself freely. I believe that psychology is turning into a religion.
You too. You're under tremendous emotional stress.
Oh, for God's sake, Owen, listen to me. He knew about the boy in Fresno, and he says 5 billion people are gonna die.
No way he could possibly know that. Catherine, you're a rational person. You're a trained psychiatrist. You know the difference between what's real and what's not.
And what we say is the truth is what everybody accepts, right, Owen? I mean, psychiatry, it's the latest religion. We decide what's right and wrong. We decide who's crazy or not. I'm in trouble here. I'm losing my faith.
And the only one psychologist I've studied who is worth following is Carl Jung, because that's what's missing in the world of psychology, this coming to consciousness, this, let's say, ability to explore your own psychology, to get, let's say, a higher vibration, to have this authority